As you probably know, I have a Carousel which I imported from the UK from Central Engineering Designs, and that's a 12-arm stainless steel, medical grade, etc, etc. And I have it set up in a research facility that I have about half an hour drive from here, but I can't necessarily get there every day to train, and I keep my dogs at home with me, so I would like to have the ability to run them around a mini carousel most days, just to keep them fresh and if I want to try something out. So what I decided to do was make one which is light and portable if I need to fly somewhere with it, but also I can keep this in the house, put it up, run them around each day that I want to, and then not have to drive the 30 minutes to the training facility just because some days I just can't make it out there because I've got other things on. So here's what I've decided to do. I got some 1.5 inch PVC plumbing pipe, and this was a 10-foot length just because it's a quarter of the cost of buying individual pipes. And I decided to make the arms 2.5 feet, so I just cut the 10-foot pipe into 4, and that saved a lot of money. And then I got these connectors, and honestly I don't know what they are. It's something to do with sewage, but the 1.5 inch pipes fit into them. And then I got these plugs which I'll actually glue inside, and I'll glue this part together as well. Or sorry, forget that, I'm not going to glue this part together because if I want to take this somewhere I can take it apart and put it in my suitcase, but I am going to glue this part in here, and that way it's glued in here. And the mason jars, which this is a 3-inch opening and the mason jars are 2.5 inch ish, a little more, but they're going to fit inside there quite nicely. And then I got this piece of pre-cut plyboard, and what I'm going to do is attach the arms to this, and then I'm going to have a hole in the middle, and this is going to fit on a photo stand, a photo light stand or tripod stand that I have, so that I can actually slot it in and then spin it if I need to. So nice and simple, cost about $20 in total because I already have a photo stand or photo light stand to use. I suppose you could adapt some sort of any other sort of stand like a Christmas tree or something, I suppose, but I'll put this together and then I'll show you the end result. So there we are. I've glued the cap into place. I'm going to let that set overnight, but it's pretty strong already. And that's just the plumber's purple and then plumbing glue, and that's pretty strong. And all I'm going to do obviously is sit my mason jar on top, so that's plenty strong enough for what I need. So to get the center of the circle, I drew 3 lines, found the center of the line, and then 90-degree angle here, and drew a line in the center. Repeat this 3 times, and where the lines cross, that's the center point of the circle. So that's where I'm going to drill to produce my hole that this disc will spin on. So I drilled the center hole, and it's the same size as this part of the tripod so that it fits on neatly. At the minute I've got some screws in here because I added an extra piece of plywood so that the actual hole is thicker, and that is going to help it balance. But once the glue has dried, I'll take these screws out and it'll be able to spin. Then I've added 8 holes diagonally across from each other. I drilled holes into the arms. Now I've reduced the size of the arms. Originally it was going to be 2.5 foot, but that's too long. So now they're 18 inches or 1.5 foot. The advantage of this is that I'm actually using wing nuts to secure these arms in place. So these will come off and on for transportation, so I can carry it in my suitcase if I need to, if I'm traveling somewhere, or put it in a pelican case. But also the length of these arms can be changed, and in this case I've got 4 1-foots, which are the remaining 1 foot from cutting this 2.5 foot pipe down to this 18-inch pipe. But you can make them longer and shorter as you desire, but I'm sticking to these 18 inches for now. So there's one fitted into place without the hold on the end, and here's one obviously with the holder, and you can see the mason jar fits neatly inside. So here it is set up. and I'm going to show some different ways you can actually utilize this. So the pot holder itself can be in 3 different configurations that I've been using anyway. One is with a larger hole in the top, so that your container, in my case mason jars, are inside, and this will take the larger mason jars. These are obviously the smallest one. That's a piece of coal as a distractor. Or it can be the shallow end up, in which case obviously the small mason jar just sits on the top. Or you could have it sideways if you needed to, and then your actual target can be placed inside. I don't know that I'd ever use it that way, but obviously the option exists there. As you can see, it spins round really nicely. I was lucky in that this photography stand or light stand was something I had spare, so I could take off the actual longer extensions and just leave the one arm in it, and then I drilled the hole in the wood to fit that specific arm. So obviously if you have smaller or larger size strut within your light stand or photography stand, then you're going to drill a hole to the size of that. But you can see, I mean, it spins around really nicely. It all takes apart. I used, as I said, wing nuts, etc. So this will break down to absolute minimal size.